Well, we have made it to our final day of this week's devotions, and I have titled Living by Faith. We have seen four thoughts thus far this week. We have seen that number one on Monday, that we need to have a foundation of our faith, and that foundation needs to be built upon Jesus Christ. We had seen on Tuesday that we need to have faith in God's creation. If we have faith in God's creation and what God has done at the beginning of the world, it'll be so much easier for us to trust and have faith in Him and everything that He does. We saw on Wednesday that we need to have faith in our walk with God. We need to be like Enoch, where hopefully at the end of our life, that if someone was to give a testimony of our life, they could say that we were like Enoch in the fact that we walked with God. And then yesterday, we looked briefly at Abraham and the reminder that we need to have faith in God's provision. Even when God doesn't give us all the details, we need to have faith that God is going to take care of us and lead us and provide for anything that we need in our life. And then today, I want to end our series on the concept of living by faith by looking at the thought that you and I need to have faith in our eternity. With all the wickedness that's going on in the world, you and I as Christians, we can have faith to live day by day. You want to know why? You and I have a faith that the world doesn't have. We have a faith in the fact that we know where our eternity lies. You know, as all the craziness and wickedness and chaos exist in the world, and as I'm sure you are like me, anytime that you turn on the news, there is anymore, it seems like with everything going on, that there is no good news. It's constant turmoil and constant chaos that's occurring in the world. But you want to know something? The world may live in chaos. The world is in chaos because the world is trying to live in the here and now. But you and I are different. We are living for eternity. You know, it was last week that I was able to and had the privilege to actually go and preach at my wife's grandmother's funeral. And at that funeral, there's a verse that we brought up that many times may get brought up in a funeral service that's a help to those family members who have had a loved one that has passed on. But I believe that that passage of Scripture is even a blessing to you and I here on the earth today, because Jesus was speaking in the book of John in chapter 14, and He said this. He said, "Let not your hearts be troubled. Ye believe in God, believe also in me." Christians, we don't have to worry. We have a faith in God. We can know we can get through this life. We know that our trust can be in God. You say, well, why can we trust in God? Because the Bible goes on and says, or Jesus here goes on to say, that in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would not have told you. He said, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Can I remind you as Christians this morning that when you read that verse, it's a reminder that God hasn't forgotten about us. That yes, Jesus Christ, when He died and He rose from the grave and He walked upon this earth for a period of time after that, and then He ascended up into heaven, God was saying right there, Jesus Christ was saying this, He said, I may be gone, but I've gone to prepare a place for you. And He said He is there, but yet there is coming a day when He is going to return for us. As Christians, that's our hope for eternity. We know that either one of these days something is going to happen, whether we pass away or there's going to come a day where Jesus Christ meets us in the air. Either which way, it doesn't matter. Either which way, we know that we have a home in heaven. And as a Christian, for you and I, that should give us great hope. We have that faith that God has not forsaken us. We have that faith, and we know that we have that eternal home in heaven. And that should, for you and I, help us to live day to day and serve Him. So I want to encourage you, as we wrap up this week, I want to encourage you that as you continue to serve God, not just this week, I trust and I hope that in your life, it's not just this week that you're saying, okay, I am going to live by faith. But I trust and I really, really hope that you are going to make the determination in your life that you're going to say, I am now going to serve God on a daily basis, and I'm going to do it in faith. And if you, as a Christian, if you remember that you have a faith that's based on an eternity with God who has a home prepared for you, if you remember that, you are going to find it so much easier every day to serve God. I really, truly want to thank you for taking the time this week as we have gone through this series and this thought of living by faith. I hope that in your life that you will determine and say, I am just going to live in the faith of God. I'm not going to allow anything to knock me off the track that God has called me to live. I really hope that you make that determination in your life, because I'm going to guarantee you, if you do that in your life, that God will bless you. Thanks again for joining us all this week. We trust that God will bless you. Have a great day.